This is the Putnur Mandal of Adilabad district, where most of the tribal community lives in, and this entire area called Agents area. Agents is most of the tribals, different communities like Kolams and Gonds and Nayakabul and Lambadas. They live in this area. Most of the tribals, and interestingly, this total green coverage and vegetation and crops patterns are totally different. But particularly if you come to the forest and forest species, if you look at lot of forest minor fruit products were available, but right now most of the seeds and the fruits varieties have been disappeared. But still I can see many Maduka indica plants where that is the only species they didn't cut because of two reasons. I think that is a very interesting thing is that is a very multifunctional, multi uses. They use that for oil and food and like liquor, like timber, and like your even they use them as a flower, as a food also. So in that context, I last time in the few years this government has been given a lot of lands to the tribal landless tribals. In those tribals, most of the species have been cut, and they have removed all the teak and other plants. But even expensive plants like teak also. Teak is one of the very expensive timber. Those plants also they have been totally cut. But interestingly, they have left over only the tree that is the Maduka indica. It's called Mawa. Mawa is very commonly known everybody across the country, India. But Maduka indica is a botanical name. Maduka indica, one of the trees, a huge tree. If you go around the tribal area, there is a plant where you can see that is a interestingly there's a huge trees they left over. Why these tribals they have cut all the forest? Only why they left over? Just we are talking to them. I think is very interestingly they are talking about many things about uses of this plant. So interestingly, particularly this plant Maduka indica is the seed. It's a very timely in the summer. The flower is available just before in the month of April. They will collect a lot of flower from the tree. That is a fallen flower. They is dry it and they can add some oil. They eat it. They also the same oil, the Maduka indica flower eaten by mixed with the Maduka indica oil, and they eat as a food. And they dry and they eat. They will mix with lot of items. But if you look at the multi uses of this plant is the seed they use it for the oil particularly, and the oil they collect the seed in the month of June 15th it starts, so almost all June 1st to June 30th lot of seeds are available that they go and collect, and they use it, and they will collect and they will dry it for some time. First they dry and they collect and they dry from the pod, and they will separate from the pod from the nut. There will be a nut inside. They will separate and they will dry that nut perfectly, and then slowly they will keep it aside. And when they get some leisure time to do some extraction oil or whatever the time available with them, they will go and they will grind it, and they will grind and they will fine it, and the pieces again they will grind it once again, and they will take the fine powdery nuts powder. They will tie in a piece of cloth, cotton cloth particularly, and they will put over it a steam. They will boil the water. While it's boiling, they will put on it, and then they will put one more vessel on it, and slowly the water, when it's boiling, they never allow the water to touch the like ball. They will make like a ball with the piece of cloth, and they'll put over it, and they will put over one more vessel, and that will, when it's boiling, the steam will be almost all touch the entire your powder of this Maduka indica powder. And they will keep for 15-20 minutes, sometimes it's half an hour also. They know when it has to be, they will remove from the vessel, and they will bring it back, and they'll put in a mortar, and they have their local mortars in the communities also. So the help of few more people, they will to go round and round, and they will pound it. Not literally pounding, but they will rotate. With that rotation, that entire whatever the oil inside, it will be almost all, it will come out. So they will remove slowly one by one, and then they will squeeze it into the oil. And that oil, I think they are the one of the good oil. And also, if they feel some bitterness in the oil, what they do is they will boil the oil again. They will settle down for a few minutes and overnight, and they will strain out the first layer of the oil, and the rest of the oil they use it for the lamps and other purposes, also for the bullocks and goats they give it for the different purposes, and a lot of medicinal uses. The interestingly, not only the seed, also they do the kernel, whatever the kernel it comes out, they use as a manure, food and oil. And it's one of the very good manure they use as a inoculant of that cake also. After extraction of oil, they will take out the cake and they use as a manure. Lot of high nitrogen and lot of phosphorus available, and it's very good manure. So which means the Maduka indica, not only the food, also oil, also manure and your food. And this is one of the oil they were using since many ages. They are all healthy, no more contamination, nutritionally and unadulterated oil they are using. Still they are never go to the market, they never buy, but slowly the habits of keep changing. We are trying to keep them with the traditional things what they have been doing. I think there is a extraction units in the villages we are planning to bring in. I think that is how the traditional methods and traditional things will remain with the people. That is the objective when we are going to the villages, talking to communities. Be with your own traditions and be with your own varieties, be with your own systems. Don't look at very exotic and lot of things which have been adulterated that will not good for health. Your habits should be totally very close to the nature. So that is the one of the is a Maduka indica, the miracle plant for the tribals.